New bands playing a role that once belonged to radio.
Play some Bagman.
The mainstream sort of FM rock radio stations were still playing a lot of classic rock. So it was much music that sort of prided themselves in stuff that nobody else would touch or play, and really found this market of these emerging indie bands. And the fact that a lot of those bands went on to become successful was great.
All of a sudden there is this burgeoning scene again down on Queen Street, sort of punk dominated, but there were some different bands that became popular.
The Spoons and Images of Vogue and bands like that, they represented some sort of romantic ideal, especially for, you know, teenagers.
Gord and Sandy really exploited the moment well. They had a sound. They were kind of like Canada's Thompson twins.
I would see them in concert a bunch of times. Broke my finger, the impressions, the stage, the tape this one. Just so I could be close to Sandy more. Yeah, and I think I was screaming Sandy as I approached. Same thing. I towards the mic, kind of trying to get close and yell at Sandy Moore, who was the most beautiful ever I heard. Yeah, absolutely. I had a girl faint in my head. I was excited about that. And sometimes we would go to the Ontario place and we'll see what the people are impression of the work. All the kind of moments that you see that you like the better things. And if you start to that it translates to it's like the
mysterious cabins below the castle, your odyssey continues against the awesome forces that oppose your efforts to reach the dragon's lair. Your quest.
Even before much music existed, we could play on CDs. So I think the perception of what we did at the time is sort of enhanced by the fact that there weren't a lot of groups doing this stuff at the same time.
An Edmonton rock group led by Mo Berg migrates to Toronto and gets its big break when the band's homemade music video, shot on Queen Street, gets picked up by Much Music.
Pursuit of Happiness is a great example. It's a wonderful song. It just totally broke new ground. It didn't have any of the production values of the final version, but that's the one that we got behind that helped to get the move going.
We didn't really know, anything about what commercial song would be or a song that we just sort of listened to the songs and thought, this would be a good one to make a video out of because it's kind of got a little bit of a story to it.
Well, I don't hate my parents. I don't get drunk just to spite. I got my own reasons to drink now. I think I'll call my dad up and invite him. I can sleep until noon anytime I want. There's not many things I can do. Gotta get up and take on that world. You're an idol, it's no cliche, it's the truth. 'Cause I'm an adult now. I'm an adult now. I got the problems of an adult on my head, on my shoulders. I'm an adult now.
I'm an Adult Now is I think, one of the most essential Canadian tracks of all time. It captured us, captured them, and it was a true anthem.
I remember sitting in the office in New York and the president said, would you like to
Keep dying.
Sound hard game. Winnipeg, and there's a phone call at the club while we're in Sunshine. So I went there. So it was amazing. He had heard the demo wasn't signed on. He admitted to it.
I'm an adult now video, training sessions, Cowboy Monkeys. I think that's the moment when music changed in Canada. That's when the indie explosion happened in the 90s that spawned bands like us.
On the West Coast, a scrappy young Vancouver band releases an influential song that predates the grunge sound of Seattle's Nirvana by several years.
Vancouver was a real alternative scene before that became a genre of music found in HMV. Nothing was ever played on the radio. I mean, there was a whole subculture that you had to be in to know about. That was it.
This guy that I recognized from the store, I didn't really know him. His name was Tom Selman. He was the lead singer of this band. Slow comes to me with this demo tape saying, Grant, they won't play us in COTR because they say we sound like Foghat. And I put it on and this is amazing. People loved it. And it was just, we sold 1,000 copies in about a month, which was pretty phenomenal for a 7-inch single.
Yeah, Mighty Imperial Flint.
That sort of shaggy late 80s sound that became grunge.
When I saw Slow for the first time on the stage, I was blown away by how incredible they were. And I was like, I can't believe I put out their record. They were that good. They were the best band I'd seen in years vocally in Vancouver.
Like the Collectors before them, a Vancouver group travels south to California and gets signed to a major record deal.
It was 5440 around the early 80s. It was just kind of mind-blowing to me.
We had Set the Fire, and it was getting a lot to play in college radio in the States and in Canada. And it's bizarre because you're starving and you get nothing LA Times with a full picture being called the best band since whatever. And then you go home and think it's all great and nothing.
Now, a lot of people didn't like them because they were playing the Smiling Buddha scene, you know, the punk scene, and it didn't quite mix up with what was going on at the end of the Buddha scene.
But when we sort of hit LA the third time,
Oh, my last man here.
it'd be like lineups to these underground type clubs, and the Warner reps couldn't get
But I
in.
only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's one hiding over here. These ones should go pretty quick. I have trouble with the one that's hiding over here all the time. Although I've been having trouble with all of them on here.
The Middle Warrior, mightier than I.
Radio did not touch those songs. I mean, they got played more 5 years later on radio, or commercial FM radio, than they did at the time. There's only much music that kind of really launched bands in like 85, 86.
Quebec is a bastion of disco and dance music. A pair of schoolmates from Montreal form separate synth-pop bands whose dance-oriented sounds quickly travel across the country and around the world.
One of my biggest inspirations doing pop music was this great band from Montreal, Men Without Hats.
That Rhythm of Youth album is still one of the great Canadian records. The songwriting is great. Ivan had an amazing grasp of kind of irony, also mixed with this kind of sincerity. He really understood how to mix that with the coldness of the synths.
Come on.
We can dance if we want to. We can leave young men behind. Cause if they don't dance, they don't dance, well, that's no good to mine. Say, we can go where we want to. Place a lay well down behind. And we can act like we come about to this world. We don't go on far behind.
What an amazing song. Yeah, they must have known it was easy to write a song like
Shit.
that and listen to it in the studio.
Oh, that's it.
Sure they knew it.
Yeah, it was down to one there and one there. Oh well, I'll try it again.